Now, Eyewitness Sports.
What's up, everyone? Yanni Krakis, Ruthie Plinsky, Maury Hirsch-Gordon joining you for New England Nation Double OT.
Back.
It's football season.
7:40 on a Thursday, getting ready in Chicago for Bears-Packers.
How you feeling?
By the time this drops, the game will be like, I like the Packers. I'm going to A. Rodgers rebuttal
I don't really
year.
like that about you.
What do you, in general? That
Just
quality?
I feel like you love Rodgers.
I do not love Rodgers.
But I mean, like,
he's such a hardo with that mustache.
I feel like
His parents don't like
Yeah.
him. I question his character.
Right, who you have?
Rodgers
tonight?
coming off a down year, 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I like the Packers.
In Chicago. The Bears always pee
Soldier
down,
Field, baby.
pee down their leg. When was the last time the Bears won a big game?
The
Why
Bears
are
are
they
good
on
now.
prime time? Why aren't the,
yeah,
why aren't the Pats?
we-
That actually, my Twitter poll today got a lot of response.
So
a lot
the
of Pats
word-
fans are offended by this.
The word on the street is that there's a big halftime show for the Pats on Sunday night. So I kind of feel like it's this it's like a Super Bowl-esque halftime show is what Kraft said in some appearance. This is what people
I
were,
didn't
is
hear
what
that.
people
They have
were
a
telling
free
me.
concert tonight.
They have a free concert tonight, but they're doing something at halftime. And I feel like that's kind of like the Patriots'
doing
way
it on
to
his
be like,
own? I like
it's
that.
the
Power
Patriots'
move.
way to
Yeah.
be like, you don't want to put us on opening night, like, we'll show you. And we'll put on a show of our own. I like it.
The NFL could get away with it by saying it's the 100th season. This is the oldest rivalry.
Right.
But
Is everyone just sick of the
Patriots
past?
and Steelers both
Yeah.
have the most
I
Super
know.
Bowls ever with 6. How is that not a marketable
I know.
first game?
I know. NBC's like, thank you. You know.
NBC gets double whammy, but this goes back to when Goodell finally showed up 2 years ago this week
Yeah.
after Deflategate and everyone had the clown nose that
Pats lost
Barstool was
that
giving
game.
out. They got crushed by the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
about
Who are
that
you
today.
hearing? What kind of names we have at
I don't
halftime?
know. I just heard
Bon
that.
Jovi just pulls
Oh
out the Bon
my
Jovi
God.
I
card.
would love that.
I would love that.
That'd be cool.
That would be beautiful.
I don't know if on Sunday Night Football they could allocate that much time to halftime, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, are
Because
they
like
gonna
a
bring
couple
out
years
a
ago, what's
stage?
like B-list rapper was there like 2 years ago? It's always like a B-list
Yeah,
rapper.
Lil Jon or something.
No, I would say Lil Jon's A-list.
Okay.
It was who's to the window to the wall. That's Lil Jon, isn't it?
I have no idea. Okay.
I got it.
All right, Pat Steelers. How do you feel about this matchup, Yanni?
Well, I feel good about it for the Patriots, and then I remember it was 17-10 in December last year, and I'm like, what happened in that game? But with an off season, with the Steelers losing Brown and Bell wasn't in the mix last year. There's some uneasiness with week 1, as the players have been saying all year about you don't know what you are, do what you do well because you don't know what the opponent is. I like the Patriots right now. I feel good about them. We're going to talk about the transition at receiver and offensive line. But I think the Patriots will be able to mask any deficiencies they have in those areas. And I think the Steelers just have never been able to win the big game against the Patriots. It's banner night. I feel like the Patriots want to come out here and establish themselves. So without getting too XNO, I just like the Patriots right now because I feel like it's been a really good camp. But I am higher on the Steelers than I was in last year in recent memories because of the dramaless stuff we were talking about.
I think it's a juicy matchup. I think it's a great week 1 matchup. A lot to play for in the AFC. There's probably going to maybe be some home field advantage kind of tucked in here, in week 1, early September, that's going to come back to play for both teams in December. I'm much like Yanni. I'm riding the Patriots' good vibes. I think they've had a good camp, really injury-free other than, maybe the center position in David Andrews. I think the Steelers are going to give them a tough test.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, this is a team that missed out on the playoffs for what felt like the first time in forever this past season. And then, they lose Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. No drama like we've talked about with the Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin and his crew have a lot to prove. Juju Smith-Schuster, it's the first time that he's going to kind of be the number one. JJSS.
My guy, J.C. Jackson from Maryland, was rolling his eyes about him being a top. He's got some swag, J.C.
He does have he has some sneaky swag.
I'm a big Schuster fan.
So I'll say this about this matchup. I like the Patriots, and I think there's a lot of hype around the Patriots. There was a lot of hype around them last year going into the year. You had Julian Edelman healthy, you had Rob Gronkowski healthy, now you have a lot of hype, but there are still some question marks. I think what I will say about this game is I'm happy that it's week 1 for the Patriots' sake, because I think, to come into Gillette Stadium on banner night, no one really knows a lot about either team at this point in the season. There's not a lot of film you can watch. but the Patriots are going to be better at adjusting on the fly than the Steelers will be. So I will say that I like this matchup, and I'm happy for the Patriots' sake that it is week 1, because if this game were maybe, week 8, week 9, you're at Heinz Field or whatever, like this could be a little scarier.
These two usually play in December either.
Right, but I like what you say. Like, I think there's going to be playoff implications here down the line based on this game. So I think it's important. I think it's a good matchup for the Patriots. I'm interested to see what happens with the Steelers today, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, but there's no drama. Yeah. They just want to play football, and that's kind of the vibe I think that's been in their locker room, is what the Patriots have been listening to and have heard, because they've talked about it this week. But they know that the Steelers are ready to get rid of the drama and just play some football.
If the Patriots lost, I wouldn't be shocked. If they won big, I wouldn't be no outcome would surprise me. And week 1s are generally pretty messy and ugly.
Yeah.
I think there'll be some penalties, some turnovers.
Sure. Love it.
What do we got?
Okay, so we kind of alluded to this, but I think the two biggest question marks for the Patriots are around two different position groups, the offensive line and the wide receivers. What's your bigger concern at this point?
I probably have to go with the offensive line for the sole reason of Tom Brady needs time, and he needs clean protection in order to get the ball to the receivers. I think the receivers, there's still a lot of question marks up in the air. It's good that Julian Edelman wasn't on the injury report this past week for Wednesday and Thursday at least. I think Demaryius Thomas showed some signs. Philip Dorsett, I think, is going to be super reliable. I think he's going to be a big part in kind of masking the wide receiver depth until Josh Gordon gets back to full speed and until Demaryius Thomas gets back to full speed. And obviously when you flank out James White and you flank out Sony Michel, who we've heard has increased and gotten a lot better in the passing game, I think it boils down to the offensive line. Can this group, who is versatile but still sort of new with one another, especially with the addition of center Ted Karras in the place of David Andrews, if they can be a good cohesive unit, then that'll give Tom Brady all the time he needs. And if he's got the time he needs, he can throw to whoever he needs to.
It's funny because
especially with guys back on the team that he's worked with.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it's funny because the O-line, the story coming into camp was like, how nice is it to have this consistency? How great is it to be able to, have year to year and Joe Tooney and Shaq Mason and blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden you lose one guy and you're moving everyone around, and it's kind of like you're adjusting on the fly here. So I agree with you for the exact same reason, is you need the O-line to be solid before you can even think about the wide receivers. Yep. But at the end of the day, you have Julian Edelman, who's your security blanket as well. Sure. You have Phil Dorsett, who I think Brady and Dorsett have really grown a great trustworthy relationship, and Brady praised him a ton in the preseason. So I think it's going to be, I will be interested to see how Karras shifts in there. He seems like the Belichickian, I'll do whatever the coaches want me to do. It's just a nice,
Doesn't
solid
Ted Karras
offensive lineman.
just look like your neighbor?
He looks like a teddy bear. He's so
No, he just looks like such an average guy. I'm like, this dude's like an NFL center.
Still in school, getting his graduate degree and something.
Fellow Greek. I think the answer to the question is offensive line, because left tackle and center, you could argue, are the two most important things. Obviously, pressure up the middle is what gets to Brady, so hopefully Karras can stay there with the two guards and maintain that pocket there. And Isaiah Wynn, we haven't seen him. He's got short arms. He's undersized. Nate Solder, huge guy. Trent Brown, huge guy. Matt Light, huge guy. Brady's always had these tall, huge human beings at left tackle, so that'll be interesting to see. And if they become a run-pass team, how is this offensive line going to gel, creating holes? Tom Brady has always worked with Cordero Patterson last year. I mean, think about when Edelman wasn't there at the beginning of the year. I mean, he's had crap for receiving cores over the years and made it work, so I'm not worried about that. Right. And you have to sort of think of James White as a de facto receiver.
Yeah. Love it.
O-line.
O-line, baby. That's the winner.
Yeah. Gresh would appreciate this segment as
Gresh would appreciate
O-line lover.
Can we get him at left tackle? He's
not now.
He's skinny now.
He's getting skinny.
All right. Let's go into our game picks for this game.
All right. The spread's 5.5. I actually think it's going to be lower scoring than my score pick, but I have to be consistent with New England Nation.
You do this all the time. You're like, here's my game pick, but I kind of don't think it's actually
All right, I won't
that.
hedge my bet. 30-24, Patriots win. I think it's sort of sloppy in the first half, but I think they're sort of control most of the game, dominate the time of possession. I think Ben throws an interception or two. James Conner, I think, will have a good game. I think the Patriots will take away Schuster. That's what they do well, is take away your best option. And so at that point, what are Ben's options? Who's he going to? Some good receivers that haven't proven themselves as much. And I like a big game for Sony Michel, big game for Edelman. Surprises there. And Patriots 30-24.
I have Patriots winning 27-21.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it could potentially come down to like, the last second or something like that. Like I said, I feel like the home field advantage on banner night, week 1, is what's going to be the decision in this game with what we know right now about both of these teams. So, I think Smith-Schuster can be taken away. Just Big Ben kind of scares me a little bit. He's so, hard to get to, and he's so large. They called him a rhino this week, or like a.
So you wonder if they bring the house against him, be aggressive, or because he's so hard to bring down, do they sort of
just take away his options?
Yeah.
They call him a cat because he's got 7 lives.
God.
He's always. I mean,
he's always had
Tom
something.
Brady's 42.
He's a hockey player.
Ben Roethlisberger's 37.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
His first year was 04.
It seems like those numbers should be flipped.
Yeah.
And maybe
Agreed.
some.
It seems like doesn't it seem like
seems
Ben
like
in the
Roethlisberger-
offseason just puts his feet up and eats
Oh,
cheeseburgers?
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel like that's the image we all have of him.
Right.
He could be doing TB12 for all we know.
Right.
I just assume he isn't.
Right. He's just so.
He's a brick.
Yeah, he's a
so
brick.
big.
He's a brick house. Game pick.
Game pick. So low scoring. I say 21-16. And like was talked about, Big Ben, I think, just keeps teams in games, big time games. He'll control the pace. He'll control the tempo. I think this Patriots defense is much improved from last year in terms of even after they're coming off 2 solid performances in the AFC Championship and in the Super Bowl. I think they keep the Steelers to two scores and maybe 1 score with 16, 1 touchdown and 3 field goals, or maybe 2 touchdowns and something else mixed in there. But I don't see much. Like drives stalled. It's either like the Patriots are going to cash in. I think maybe the Steelers are going to cash in, and that's going to be what it's going to be.
Quick question off script here. Underrated or overrated Ben? I think he's
overrated.
I think underrated.
Whoa.
I would say underrated.
Historically, 2 Super Bowls, although the first one against Seahawks he didn't do much.
Well, he got him
underrated.
there.
Overrated or underrated Mike Tomlin?
Irrelevant.
I think overrated.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great.
Overrated.
I think he's a good locker room coach. He's a good sort of rah-rah guy. I don't know
Except
how
like
good
the
he
last
is.
2 years.
Yeah.
There were a lot of personalities you were not
That's what
able
Tony
to manage.
Dungy said today. If Mike Tomlin doesn't have you in his locker room, you literally can't play anywhere because that guy is like tolerant of different behaviors of people.
Yeah, that's so
So
interesting.
you're saying overrated because they've been really good record-wise, and you don't think he's that
He
good
has
of a
the
coach?
second best winning percentage after Belichick in this era.
Of active
600
coaches?
plus,
Sure.
active coaches, I believe it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think his coaching deficiencies are masked by the talent he's had.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
he's
right. Always
had
great talent.
best running back, best wide receiver,
Yeah.
and arguably, if you want to make the case, for top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
And dating back to Santonio Holmes and
Sure.
who are some of their other really good receivers?
Hines
Ward,
was great
way
back
back
in the
when.
day.
Who's the really fast? Thomas.
How about the bus? Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if he had Boss. He might have been done
running
with
back.
Cowher, no? I don't know.
2010 against the Packers when they lost, or 11 against the Packers.
That's a good question.
Just
All right,
hit
what
the
do we have now?
encyclopedia.
Playoff?
All right, playoff picks.
Can you hand over the paper for who's?
Oh, yeah.
You have to read off
Oh, you want me to read
off
them
our
off for
script.
you guys? Or you want to read
you
them?
can read yours, and then we'll each read ours.
Present.
Okay. I'm scared. I'm nervous.
You're
Okay.
scared?
My picks. AFC. Division winners. Patriots, Steelers, Texans, Chiefs. And then in the wild card, I have the Jets and the Chargers.
The Jets.
The Jets.
Jets.
That's my
Jets,
big
Jets.
one.
I like
That's
it.
my big one.
So you're gonna be rooting for the Jets all year?
And the Chargers. No. Jets and the Chargers. All right.
Okay.
NFC. Cowboys. Woo. Yeah. Cowboys. Big Zeke just got
Going back to
that
her
cash money.
Texas roots right there.
St. Louis roots. My
You know, I know you're from St. Oh, Zeke's from St. Louis? I totally forgot about that.
played
Sorry.
against my friends in high school,
Clayton High?
which is hysterical when I look at my guy friends now and I'm like,
Yeah, I've met them. They
People-
go against Zeke. I
barely.
met every single
know.
one during our preview
All right.
shows in Bruins.
Cowboys, Vikings,
Wah, wah.
Saints, Seahawks over the Rams. In the wild card, I have 49ers, Bears, Rams miss the playoffs.
So you have Eagles
Sorry,
and
Liam
Rams. You have Eagles and Rams both missing the playoffs.
missing
Hold on.
the
Wow.
playoffs.
Niners and Jets are bold predictions.
Bold.
I give
Wow.
you, that's some chutzpah right there, Polinsky.
Chutzpah.
Jets is bold. But
Thank
I
you.
like it.
I like it. Why
They
not?
could be a
They gotta
solid-
leave the
We were
opt out.
saying at least six, there's of the 12 playoff teams, there are at least 6 new ones seemingly every year. That's been like the trend.
Right. Okay, so this is my Super Bowl prediction. Drum roll, please. This is boring. Drum roll, please.
Hopefully everybody has seen New England Nation, so they know.
Patriots beat the Saints.
Brady over Breeze. All right.
Brady over Breeze.
Here's
They
mine.
both
Yanni
retire.
Karakis.
Walk off into
Patriots,
the sunset.
AFC East. Steelers, AFC North. Although I'm rooting for the Browns. Big Baker guy.
Same, I am too, yeah.
Texans out of the South. Although I think Indy could be right there
I'm
with
kind
them.
of regretting
Chiefs,
not putting the Browns in the playoffs. Go ahead.
wild card Jaguars. That's my
Okay.
out of the box.
Like it?
Nick the Big Foles.
Nick the
And Ravens. They were really
Love
good
it.
last year.
I love
Lamar
that.
Jackson, sort of a wild card.
I love that. Harbaugh.
NFC, Eagles, Packers, Saints, Rams, wild card, Seahawks, and Bears. And I have the Patriots over the Saints, Brady over Breeze, and the battle of the 40-plus-year-olds.
40-plus-year-olds.
Can we just all talk about how we didn't put a ton of thought into our picks? We just kind of.
The best way to do
Pretty quick.
things.
I love it.
AFC Pats in order. Patriots the 1 seed. Chiefs, Steelers, Texans.
Love.
And then Chargers and Broncos. I think
Whoa!
Joe
So is
Flacco turns
Broncos
back
are
the
your
clock.
okay?
Turns
Broncos
back
is
the
your on
clock.
the limb.
Broncos is my
Who's
big
the head
pick.
coach of the Broncos?
Vance Joseph, is it still?
No.
No, it's not him
It's the
anymore.
new guy.
Yeah, I forget his name. He's like a hardo, isn't he? He's like an old school football guy.
The defensive coordinator from the Bears.
All right, what's his name? Go on with your NFC, sir.
NFC, we've got in order Saints, Packers, Eagles, Rams, and then wild card 49ers and Vikings.
We're gonna see some Jimmy G in the playoffs.
This is a
If
make or
Jimmy-
break
if-
year for Jimmy G.
No
is.
Colts. None of us have the Colts on anything.
Colts are a bubble
That's
team.
Not a
crazy.
Brissett guy. I don't think he's that good.
That's great.
You're a big
Why
Brian
is it
Hoyer
crazy?
guy?
Brian Hoyer.
I think he steals his job.
What if? That would be crazy.
Maybe.
I would love
What if
a
Jimmy
little.
G
Take a lot,
stinks
though.
this year?
They just
He
paid him
might.
$20 million. Yeah. Jimmy G has to stay on the field. They've got
I
a good
know.
tight end, they've got a solid running
tight
back, and
end.
they've got good wide receivers, and they've got supposedly the next wizard as a play caller.
Maybe last year's downfall makes them an underrated sleeper team.
Oh,
I kind
maybe.
of like the Niners pick, Ruth.
Thanks.
Going back to your love of Jimmy.
And in the Super Bowl, I have
What
the
is-
Chiefs over a 14-2 Patriots team in the AFC Championship game. Chiefs over Eagles. I think Andy Reid,
Well, that'd
he
be a
is
cool
such a
story.
good coach, but finally breaks through.
Sorry to your Eagles. Rest in peace.
Carson Wentz is going to have a very good year.
Your
You
girlfriend.
heard it here first.
Sierra was the one that was like, Carson Wentz is going to underperform this year. She had a hot take on something.
I'm not sold on Carson
I'm not
Wentz.
sold on Carson.
Wow.
I'm not sold on
Really?
Carson.
Fanboy over here.
Fanboy, not at all.
No.
All right, gang.
That was so much fun.
You had a lot
That
of
was
fun. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
glad.
good. That was a good episode.
Did you guys have a lot of fun?
That was great.
Any Nation
Let's do it again
OOT.
next week. Any Nation, OOT coming at you every week. Best Patriots coverage.
That is copywritten by William Bendenson. The best Patriots coverage. You think
Are
you
you
can
guys
get
gonna
like
miss
a,
him Sunday
you think you
night?
can get a LensCrafters subscription? Those glasses, great glasses.
Great glasses. Good luck overall.
William Bendenson.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, that's going to do it for New England Nation OOT. We'll see you next week.